I ain't never seen nothing like this before. Caitlin Clark is a menace, man. She literally kicked Cheryl Reeve off the team. This is my team. I don't fuck with you. Get out of here. Yes. Cheryl Reeve, you asked for it. You asked for it.
The WNBA has been thrown into turmoil after Caitlin Clark executed one of the most shocking power moves the league has ever seen. During the live draft broadcast, she orchestrated the trade of her designated all-star coach, Cheryl Reeve, leaving league officials scrambling to manage the fallout. This bold move not only highlights Clark's rising influence but also signals her refusal to accept continued disrespect from coaches who have spent months downplaying her accomplishments.
They swapped coaches. Cheryl Reeve, dodged the bullet. Thank God I don't need to coach Caitlin Clark, man. Man, I can't deal with that. I would have had to swallow so much pride, I can't do that. Fee, she probably called in the Fee, talk to Caitlin, please. I can't coach her, I can't do it. This book's about to come out. You know what they're gonna be saying if I'm coaching Caitlin Clark and the book's out? Oh, God. Fee, please. And then Sandy Bordello's like, oh yeah, this is good.
In a time dominated by staged drama and viral social media moments, it's rare to witness a moment of raw, unfiltered truth. But on July 8th, during the 2025 WNBA All-Star Draft broadcast live on ESPN, Caitlin Clark gave the world just that. What began as a routine draft quickly became a landmark event, one that will go down in history as the moment Clark stood up and said enough to the league's ongoing mistreatment of its brightest star.
So this is the first time I've ever seen this, man. The first time out of all the times I've seen where two star players are picking up players. They ask for a trade, or the median person asked for a trade, and they're talking about trading the coach.
It was classic WNBA protocol. With the Minnesota Lynx boasting the league's top record at 17-2, their coach, Cheryl Reeve, was automatically assigned to lead Team Clark in the All-Star game. Meanwhile, Sandy Bordello of the New York Liberty was tapped to coach Team Collier. Everything seemed neatly organized, following the league's usual formula. But the WNBA overlooked one vital fact. They were dealing with Caitlin Clark, a player unwilling to conform to the league's outdated hierarchy.
Is Collier's head coach for the Minnesota Lynx, so that makes sense, but the drama is going to come from Reeve having previously been critical on social media about the amount of attention Clark received relative to the rest of the league, not to mention being the coach of Team USA that Caitlin Clark was so famously snubbed from.
Demonstrating the sharp strategic mindset that's become her trademark, Clark didn't hesitate to voice her thoughts to ESPN host Malika Andrews. "I'm not sure if this is in the rules, and honestly, I don't really care," she said. "But we've already decided, we're trading coaches." With calm, deliberate confidence, she declared, "Fee's taking her coach. Sandy Bordello, let's go. Sorry, WNBA. Sorry, ESPN. If it wasn't a rule before, it is now." It was a bold move from someone who clearly knew exactly what she was doing.
To be completely honest, I love my team. I think they're great. I don't have any intentions of really trading any of them. I don't know if this is in the rules. I don't really care. But I think we've already discussed we are going to trade coaches. Fee's going to take her coach, Sandy Bordello. Let's get it. It's going to be amazing. Sorry, WNBA, if that's not in the rule. Sorry, ESPN, if that's not in the rules, but we just made it a rule. So, Sandy Bordello, come on over.
Whoa!
Let's get to it. You can coach Sabrina.
The silence that followed was striking. You could practically feel the shock ripple through WNBA executives as they came to a jarring realization. Their biggest star wasn't going to quietly accept whatever she was handed. For the first time in league history, a player had swapped coaches during an all-star draft, and there was absolutely nothing they could do to stop it. Please don't forget to like the video and subscribe my channel for more awesome content. Thanks.
Let me know. Here. I don't know that I've heard of a coach being traded in the All-Star game.
Now here's where things really get interesting, revealing, even, about the WNBA's internal power dynamics. This wasn't just a simple coaching preference. It was Caitlin Clark taking a definitive stand against Cheryl Reeve, the very coach who had spent months downplaying her success, questioning her influence, and playing a key role in her exclusion from the Olympic roster. The tension between Clark and Reeve has been a slow-burn saga of subtle digs and quiet hostility. While Clark was filling arenas and smashing attendance records as a rookie, Reeve was busy posting cryptic tweets criticizing the spotlight on a single player.
Been announced that Cheryl Reeve will be
the coach for Caitlin Clark's All-Star team. Not feeling this at all. This is the same woman who despised her last year, saying, I don't give two shits about Caitlin Clark. The same woman who really didn't want her on the Olympic team. She was hell-bent about it. Very open about it. Same woman who wore Black Girls Rock while playing Caitlin Clark, insinuating that Caitlin Clark is a racist. So she's going to be, pandering to the audience. Like, I hate that shit, man. I hate people who pander.
The Olympic snub marked the moment Cheryl Reeve's hostility toward Clark became impossible to ignore. As Team USA's head coach, Reeve had the power to advocate for Clark's spot on the Olympic roster, but chose not to. Clark was left off entirely. And when asked if she had any regrets about the decision, Reeve's response was ice cold. Just a flat no. What makes the situation even more frustrating is that Clark's exclusion had little to do with her on-court performance. It was political, plain and simple.
Reeve wasn't a part of the official committee, but, some may believe she had some say in how all that went down. Regardless, the picking between the players was a lot of fun, and Caitlin Clark also wound up with all of the Fever members on her squad as well, meaning Aaliyah Boston, Clark, and Kelsey Mitchell will be a trio in Indianapolis for All-Star.
Caitlin Clark wasn't just any player. She was a transformative force who brought women's basketball to new heights, packing arenas everywhere she went. Yet the national team's head coach treated her not as a generational star, but as an inconvenience. So when Clark got the chance to flip the narrative and remove Reeve from her All-Star team, she took it without hesitation. This wasn't merely about who would coach, it was about demanding the respect she had long been denied. Clark had reached her breaking point with a coach who should have been championing her contributions to the game. True to form, the WNBA reacted just as it often does when faced with star power it doesn't quite know how to handle, with confusion. Instead of celebrating Clark's bold move as a sign of her growing influence and marketability, the league scrambled behind the scenes. Eventually, ESPN's Malika Andrews confirmed the obvious. Coach trades were allowed, and Clark's move had been officially approved.
Appreciate. By the way, I just got official word from the WNBA, from the league. I am hearing that a trade of coaches is permitted and it is granted. I wish I had a gavel here. So the coach trade has gone through. As the steward of this draft, it has been approved. And these are your teams. This is going to be a whole lot of fun. Ladies, thank you so much for your time.
Just think about that. The WNBA had to make up a rule on the fly to accommodate its biggest star's decision to reject a coach she didn't want to work with. This is the same league that owes much of its current success to Caitlin Clark, sold-out crowds, record-breaking TV ratings, and unprecedented mainstream attention. Yet instead of supporting and protecting their most valuable asset, the WNBA has repeatedly allowed coaches and players to diminish her accomplishments. They've stayed silent while Clark has been targeted with hard fouls that would have resulted in suspensions in any other league. They've let the narrative grow that she's somehow a problem for the game, all while she's the reason the league is experiencing a financial and cultural boom. As for the trade itself, it was executed with the same calm precision that defines Clark's play. There was no drama, no public shots fired, just a clear, assertive decision. She didn't ask for approval. She simply said, "Sandy Brondolo, come on over. Let's get to it," as if coach swaps were just part of her weekly routine.
They get to trade coaches. They just traded Cheryl Reeves to get the Liberty coach. That is great. So we don't have to worry about Cheryl Reeves anymore. Cheryl Reeves can go to her team. I think Nafisa's team is too slow, bro. Yeah, Alyssa Thomas is good, but she's slow. Angel Reese isn't fast. Breanna Stewart isn't fast. I'm telling you, they're going to be more of a half-court type of team.
Sandy Brondolo's reaction was exactly what you'd hope for from a coach given the chance to work with the league's brightest star. "I got traded," she said, clearly thrilled. "My son texted me, 'I've made history. This is awesome. I got traded as a coach. Now I get to coach Sabrina and Caitlin Clark in Indianapolis. What a great opportunity.'" Meanwhile, Cheryl Reeve was left to watch in real time as the player she had spent months subtly undermining publicly rejected her on national television. Once the figure of authority in their dynamic, Reeve suddenly found herself coaching the opposing team, forced to the sidelines as Clark prepared to take center stage at the All-Star game, right in her home arena. The whole scenario is a striking example of the WNBA's mishandling of star power. In any other major sports league, when a generational talent emerges, one who drives massive revenue, ratings, and cultural attention, they are embraced, protected, and made the face of the brand. But in the WNBA, Clark has been left exposed to criticism, targeted on the court, and diminished by figures who should be lifting her up. And now that she's taken a stand, the league seems stunned that she's no longer willing to stay silent.
For Coach, you may have been involved in the first ever coach trade of any All-Star game ever. Just want to get your thoughts on that in your mind. First for you, Leo.
They announced it? Yeah. That you got traded? Yeah. Oh, I gotta go look at all that. Traded? I have no idea what the teams are.
Second time in history now. Jeez, as a player. And I got traded, yes. My son hit me up after he goes, I've created history. This is awesome. I got traded as a coach. But look, I get to coach with Sabrina. I'm on Caitlin Clark's in Indianapolis. I mean, what a great show. So we'll go out there and have some fun.
Clark's decision to trade Cheryl Reeve wasn't just about parting ways with one coach. It was about setting a new standard for how the league's top talent should be treated. She made it clear that she won't quietly accept disrespect, no matter who it comes from or how long they've been in the league. This was her way of showing that her influence isn't limited to packed arenas and soaring TV ratings. She holds real power, and she's willing to use it. The implications are massive. Clark didn't just remind everyone that she's the WNBA's most popular player. She showed she's influential enough to change the rules in real time. She proved her power extends beyond the hardwood and into the decision-making rooms, where policies are shaped and precedent is set. And perhaps most importantly, she sent a message to every other player in the league. You don't have to accept being disrespected, even if it's coming from someone in authority. If a coach or executive tries to diminish your impact, question your worth, or treat you as anything less than what you've earned, you're not powerless. You have a voice. You have leverage. And now, thanks to Clark, you've seen what it looks like to use it.
And you remember when Caitlin was in Minnesota last year, she had a little extra spice after one of the baskets, because Cheryl Reeve's a great coach, don't get me wrong, and she doesn't bite her tongue, which you noticed after the WNBA finals when she said it was stolen from the Lynx. There's no questioning her acumen, and certainly she'll speak her mind, but there's got to be something in the back of Caitlin's mind that still feels a little miffed, even if Reeve wasn't directly responsible for her not making the Olympic squad. Now, there was another attempted trade.
The timing of Clark's move couldn't have been more strategic. By making her stand during the All-Star draft, when the cameras were rolling and the spotlight was brightest, she ensured maximum visibility and left the league with little chance to intervene. She waited until the moment she had both the platform and the leverage, then executed her plan with the same precision that's made her one of the game's most accomplished players. For Cheryl Reeve, it was likely the most humbling moment of her coaching career. After months of subtle jabs and dismissiveness, she was publicly rejected by the very player she tried to downplay. And there was nothing she could do. She had to sit, smile, and act unfazed as Clark essentially removed her in front of a national audience, then carry on as coach of the opposing team. The ripple effects of Clark's move will echo through the league. Other stars are watching and taking notes. They are realizing they don't have to tolerate toxic environments just because someone holds a title. They are seeing that star power carries weight, and that weight can be used to demand better treatment and create change. More than just an athlete, Clark is showing she's a savvy professional who understands her worth and isn't afraid to assert it. She's proving that she's not here to simply play by old rules. She's here to lead, to compete, and to shape the future of the league on her own terms.
Caitlin said she don't care if it's in the rules or nothing. She trading to get her off my team. So Caitlin and Collier switched coaches because Caitlin wasn't having it. She said no ops will be on my team.
How the WNBA responds to this moment will speak volumes. They have two choices. Embrace Clark's bold move as a sign of the league's rising star power and evolving player influence, or try to rein her in, risking tension with the very athlete who's done more to elevate women's basketball than anyone in recent memory. Smart money says they'll choose the former. Clark's impact has been too significant for the league to risk alienating her. Publicly, they'll likely frame this as a win for player empowerment and proof of the league's adaptability. Behind the scenes, though, they'll probably take steps to ensure Clark is never again put in a position where she feels forced to make such a bold, public stand. For fans, this moment serves as a lesson in how to respond to disrespect, with focus, poise, and purpose. Clark didn't stir up drama or engage in petty back and forth. She recognized the issue, found a solution, and handled it with the same sharp execution that's defined her career. What could have been a messy situation instead became a defining statement of power and professionalism.
Clark, or what I like to refer to her now as Gangster Clark, heard Cheryl Crusted Blueberry Muffin ass Reeve being salty in that press conference, throwing shade at the Fever, and said, nope, get her punk ass up out of here. She ain't about to coach my team for the All-Star game, and that's why I call her Gangster Clark, because whatever Gangster Clark wants, Gangster Clark.
The 2025 WNBA All-Star Game is shaping up to be much more than a showcase of talent. It's become a powerful statement about shifting dynamics, respect, and influence in women's professional basketball. Caitlin Clark will take the floor in Indianapolis, coached by Sandy Brondello, having successfully removed a persistent source of tension from her environment. Meanwhile, Cheryl Reeve will lead the opposing team, likely still grappling with how dramatically the balance of power has shifted. One moment, she was leading Team USA and making Olympic roster decisions. The next, she was publicly turned down by the very player she'd spent months subtly criticizing. This unprecedented coach swap says everything about what Caitlin Clark brings to the sport, not just her skill and intelligence, but also her strategic mindset and the courage to stand her ground. She's not only transforming the game with her play, she's reshaping the structures surrounding it. And that, more than any stat or trophy, might be her most lasting contribution to women's basketball. The league may have hoped Clark would quietly follow their lead and accept whatever came her way. Instead, she sent a clear reminder. She isn't just playing in the WNBA. She is the WNBA's most valuable asset. And when you're the most valuable asset, you don't just follow the rules, you help define them.